Okay, so we all know that France lost Algeria in 1962 after a 7-year war. But what if in an alternate timeline, France had managed to keep Algeria as their colony in 2025? Well, let's just say it would have been a very, very tough task. The Algerian War of Independence was one of the most brutal and costly conflicts in French history. Over 1 million people were killed, and France spent over 3 billion francs a month just on the war effort, which was more than the cost of maintaining all of their other colonies combined. By 1958, the war had become so unpopular that even Charles de Gaulle couldn't get elected on an anti-Algerian platform. But what if France had managed to hold on to Algeria for another 60 years? Well, for starters, they would have needed to completely crush the Algerian independence movement, which meant killing or imprisoning all of the key figures. But even if they had done that, it wouldn't have solved the underlying issues that caused the war in the first place. The French knew this, which is why they offered Algeria independence in 1962. They simply could not afford to keep fighting. But let us just assume that France did somehow manage to win the Algerian War and keep Algeria as their colony. What would that even look like in 2025? Well, for starters, it would have been the last remaining French colony in Africa. All of the others, like Senegal, Cameroon, and Gabon, got their independence in the 1960s. And by 2025, they would have been fully developed countries with modern economies and infrastructure. Algeria, on the other hand, would still be stuck in the Stone Age with a GDP per capita of around $1,500. That's around 1/3 of what it was in 1962. The French would have probably tried to develop Algeria into a modern country, but it's unlikely that they would have been successful. The best example we have of this is Morocco, which has a similar amount of wealth and resources as Algeria, but has been a relatively stable and well-run country. Despite this, Morocco is still significantly poorer than the rest of Western Europe. So if France had kept Algeria as their colony in 2025, it would have been one of the poorest and least developed countries in Europe. It's unlikely that the French would have been able to hold on to Algeria forever. Eventually, the Algerians would have risen up and taken their country back, just like they did in our timeline. Thanks for watching.